Good day and welcome to HPPS video lectures. We are happy you are taking this journey to ACC and ACA, and we are ready to support your cause. I'm your humble lecturer, Mr. Sonny. Today, I'll be taking transfer pricing with limited factors of production, and we'll be considering some good questions, some past questions after treating transfer pricing with limited factors of production. We'll be looking at the following past questions. Please sit down, put on your earpiece, and enjoy.
Niger's group. In this question, you will see that we are required to calculate what they say we should find. Number one, if division Y provisionally requests a quotation for 60,000 tires from division X for the coming year, we should determine the transfer price per tire that division X should quote in order to meet its residual income target. Then we also have II, calculate the two prices that division X would have to quote to division Y if it becomes the group's policy to quote transfer price based on opportunity cost. So let's see how we can handle those two before we continue. Now, to calculate the transfer price per tire that should be quoted for residual income target to be met, we have a formula we have to use, and that formula is simply taking your fixed cost plus your return on investment plus your return on your residual income, and then subtracting the contribution from external sales, and then adding that to the variable cost. Remember what we did under transfer pricing with limited factor. You have to find the additional contribution, and that's what we want to work now. So you use this formula whenever you want to find a transfer price that will meet a residual income target. You have fixed cost plus return on investment plus the residual income less contribution from external sales. Now, we are looking at what should be done. So we go back to the question and we see what we want to do. We have our fixed cost. Our fixed cost is 1,080,000,000. Then we have our residual income. The residual income is given as 180 million. And then we have the returns on investment. The return on investment is 12% of total investment of 3 million, 2 billion, 3 billion, 2 million, which will give us 348 million. Now, if we've gotten that, the next thing we'll have to do is to add up those values. We'll have 1,648,000,000 total contribution before external sales. So this is what is required for us to meet the target. Now, contribution from external sales. What do? We bring in all the contribution from external sales by looking at external sales. Remember that the total units that ought to be produced, the maximum capacity is 150,000 tires, and we have sold about 60,000 tires to Department X or Division X. So the balance that is left to be sold to external users will be the 150 million tires less the 60,000 tires. That's what we'll do to get the one we are going to sell outside. 150 minus 60,000, and then we multiply by the market price of 90,000. The external market price is 35,000. So 90,000 times 35,000 will give you 3,150,000. Now that 3,150,000,000, you will now bring in the variable cost. In the equation, the variable cost is 22,000. You times it by 90,000, you have 1,980,000,000. If you deduct that, you have the contribution from external sales. Now, I want to remove the contribution from external sales from the total contribution, and that will give us 474 million, which is the contribution from internal sales. So now, the additional contribution per unit is going to be the 474 million divided by 60,000 units we sold to our Division X, which will give us 790,000 naira per unit. So the variable cost, the ideal transfer price to Department Y will be the variable cost of 22,000, and then the additional contribution of 7,900. I beg your pardon. Now, that will give us a total of 29,900 naira. That is the ID transfer price from division X to division Y. Now, they say we should calculate it to follow the group policy. The price to be quoted will be maximum capacity of 150,000. Then you bring in external sales. You want to follow the group policy to answer II. The maximum capacity of 150,000, you bring in external sales of 110,000. Now, available for internal sales will be what? 40,000, because the policy now will be to sell all available market, and the total available market is 110, and the total unit produced by X, department X, is 150. So the balance for internal sales will be 40,000. Those 40,000 now will be sold at the variable cost of 22,000, while the external sale will be sold at 35,000 per unit. This will maximize the profitability of the group as a whole. So the prices will be 35,000 and 22,000, and 110 units will be sold for 35,000, while the balance will be sold to division Y. Now, B part of the question, the impact on group. What will be the impact on group? Or that will be answered verbal. Now let's look at C part of the question. When you buy from division X, you want to buy from division X now, where you have tax. There is tax involved. You bring in your external sales. External sales